Hi guys. Hi. So I've been wanting to talk to you guys about this for a while now, and it's not easy to talk about. I wasn't really sure how to say it, and I hope you don't hate me. But so a couple of weeks ago, one of my favorite vegan YouTubers had posted a video saying that she is no longer vegan. And it's kind of crushing. It's definitely a blow to the vegan community. And it sort of just really makes you wonder, like, what made them change their mind, Going vegan is like, it's a big decision and it's a huge undertaking. It's not easy unless, you were brought up that way for much of your life. And I, like many people, was brought up consuming, animal products for most of my life. But what that did was it kind of, around the same time that she posted that video, someone else, another content creator who I follow, his name is Dr. Berg, and he's actually the complete opposite of vegan. He's keto, but he's just has a wealth of information. I mean, I love his content. He's been doing this a long time, as far as like researching health and wellness and creating content on YouTube. And so if you want to find something out like about sugar, you won't find just one video on his channel. You'll find like 10, and each of them is different and addresses something different. So he's always like researching and finding out what's the latest studies are and that sort of thing. And so I really like that about him. He had mentioned something in one of his videos that sort of clicked with me and made me start thinking about things about my health. Because so first of all, I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to share a secret about myself that I don't tell very many people, and I'm very guarded about it, and there's a reason why, but I feel like it's necessary to tell you, to put things into context. And it's hard for me to say this, but so I suffer from fatigue issues. And the reason I don't like telling people that is because immediately what they think is like, well, yeah, you're vegan, you're, not getting enough nutrients and this and that, where's your protein, blah, blah, blah. Well, I used to get my labs drawn like quarterly. So that's like every 3 months. Recently, my doctor told me I could only do it, I think, twice a year. So whatever, but my labs are always like almost pristine. I mean, everything, like even my vitals, my blood pressure is always like low. My cholesterol everything's normal. I'm sure I take a lot of care to supplement as I should. I take iron when I need it. I supplement with vitamin D, vitamin B12. I take actually a lot of supplements, a lot of vitamins and supplements, and I kind of go with my intuition about my body. Maybe I'll take some of them consistently for a few weeks, and then sometimes I've actually been almost high on my B12 or my D3, so then I back off a little bit and say, okay, let's do every other day, or let's do twice a week. It's a constant thing. And in fact, I do want to mention that about health and wellness. So I am, like many of you, I'm on a health quest. I want to find that sweet spot between, a type of dietary lifestyle, what you eat and consume, physical fitness, lifestyle, what the types of different activity you do with your body, and then like mental and emotional health and wellness, and finding that perfect spot where all those work in harmony to give you the vitality that you need to greet each day, with enough energy and passion, and to complete your goals, to enjoy life, to accomplish the productivity you need, to be able to handle the material aspect of life. And it's a challenge, and it's a continuous thing. It doesn't just, you don't arrive and it stops. You're always, you can get closer to it, and you can find, a good combination that works. But you still always have to be, recalibrating and that sort of thing. But anyways, back to Dr. Berg. So what he mentioned sort of made something click in my mind, because aside from my fatigue issue, which I've tried numerous things. Actually, I do want to say this. Actually, it was worse before I went vegan. So I want to say that I had a more difficult time beforehand, and the veganism actually helped. But over the years, I've tried to self-diagnose with, do I have, systemic candidiasis or candida? Do I have, what's that thing called? Estrogen dominance. Is it this? Is it that? And tried a lot of different holistic measures, and, altering my dietary, lifestyle, or whatever, the way I eat and exercise and all that, and other types of remedies and herbal supplementation. And, some things help more than others. It's frustrating, because I feel like I'm always behind everyone else. I feel like I don't have as much energy as everybody else to direct towards certain things. And so I feel like it takes longer, like it's taking longer to grow my channel. It's, it's taking longer to get monetized. I just feel like everything is more of a struggle, because I have to decide every day and every moment how I want to spend my energy. And another thing is, like, I like slow living. I like waking up without an alarm clock, with my cats beside me, each of them purring in stereo. One of them, with a fast, anxious purr, one of them with a little bit of a slower purr. I really like that. Getting up, deciding, I think I'm going to do an hour of yoga, and then taking time to prepare my food, so it's just so, just kind of going where the day takes me, But and I do have a work ethic. When I want to do, a lot of work, I can totally focus and concentrate and really get that done too. But I like having the ability to kind of go with, go with the flow, go with the energy and the flow of the day and that sort of thing. But anyways, once again, getting back to the big life-changing thing. Well, so what Dr. Berg brought to my attention was something you may or may not have heard of. You most likely have, but probably just went in and out of your mind, really kind of dismissed it, like, oh, that's not me, or, that's interesting, but whatever. And that is oxalates. So I know I always associated oxalates or high oxalates with spinach, because I would see a lot, this is like way back, like years ago, when I first started getting into like health and stuff. And you would always hear, be careful that you don't eat too much spinach, because it has high oxalates, and it will not allow you, it'll interfere with your absorption of calcium and this and that. And that was about it. That was all I knew about oxalates. And I thought, well, that doesn't really apply to me. My calcium's fine. But then I find out that, oxalates are responsible for like kidney stones and that sort of thing. And while I've never experienced a kidney stone, so there are studies that say that it's not just kidney stones that can be formed with oxalates, but it can be other types of crystals where basically the oxalate molecule combines with, minerals in your body, mostly calcium, and they make these crystals, and they can actually deposit in other parts of your body. And apparently they're very difficult to get rid of. It happens over time, so it takes a long time to sort of break them down or flush them out. But when they deposit in these other tissues, they can cause a lot of pain, and similar to like arthritis, gout, that sort of thing, joint pain or muscle pain, or pain that moves around in your body. It doesn't stay in one place. And this is something that I've been experiencing. I've been vegan for 9 years, but I've been experiencing like different types of pains in my body, especially since, I don't know if you guys saw my video of where I talk about being my very personal experience of being assaulted by someone. But that's been about a year ago now since the assault. And, it wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just like my wrist was broken, that's it. It was a thing that went on for hours. In my home, I was thrown around, slammed against walls, slammed against metal shelving, slammed against the floor, and more that I don't think I should talk about right now. But, so I suffered a lot of trauma to different parts of my body. Let me drink water. And now, like, within months later, a year later, I'm starting to feel pain in parts of my body that wasn't there before. Like, the back of my calf. There's an area that's just painful just to touch, and there's no bruise there or anything, and now my shoulder. And it's like, I have worked out for many, many years. And so I know my body. I am very much in tune with my body. So to experience this is perplexing. But because like on a nudge, I kind of felt like I should find out more about this. And I joined a group on Facebook. It's called Trying Low Oxalates. And it's just a wealth of information. And so from that and a lot of the research that I've done, a lot of information points to like the oxalate crystals will settle in parts of your body where you have injury because it's in a weakened state. So it's easy, I guess, to sort of invade or settle in those areas. And that started to make sense to me. And I'm just overwhelmed by the pain and inflammation. No matter what I do, I get massages, I massage it out myself. I have tons of like manual and mechanical, massage tools. But, the fact that it's just this, it's very painful and mysterious. And so I decided that I wanted to try something different. First of all, I found out the foods that have the highest amount of oxalates. And the whole point, there's a whole regimen to helping your body rid of these crystals and therefore rid of the pain, and gain back some of your, what do you call it? Pain-free, your vitality, your mobility, all that sort of thing. And so the main part of it is reducing your oxalate intake. So I've been tracking that for a while now, daily. And the biggest things to avoid are like spinach, sweet potatoes, soy products, and I eat a lot of soy. What else? Chocolate. I love chocolate, so that's a tough one. And they're not saying you can't have any oxalates. They're just saying like, you want to reduce it. I think they say below 50 or 100 grams a day, something like that. So, or milligrams, I can't remember what it's measured in. But anyway, so I've been doing that. And I also started to consume some animal products, just cheese, no meat, some cheese, and like some sour cream. I tried cottage cheese once, but it doesn't taste as well as I remembered it tasting in the past. But so I did that, for a couple of weeks. You know, I ate a lot of cheese and it was good. But probably a lot of that was the caseomorphine, which is in it, which causes it to be addicting. But an interesting thing that happened was that, so I was lactose intolerant, and I am no longer. And that was really weird. I could eat as much cheese as I wanted, and I didn't have any issues, you know, in the way of my digestion. So that was interesting. I have since stopped eating I've stopped eating it like almost daily or buying it. Now it's just kind of like, I'm back to where like maybe once a month, not even that, you know, I might like get a cheese craving and dabble in a little bit of cheese. But I am feeling better. I am having more energy, you know, and that's interesting. Like I said, I'm not planning to eat meat anytime soon, and I'm trying to keep it plant-based. And plant-based is a tricky word because even though it sounds like veganism, it's really not. I don't know if you saw my video on the differences between all of the different titles, you know, vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian, plant-based. But plant-based basically means the emphasis is on plant foods. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. I do feel like if I could find like an ethical, you know, source maybe of like eggs or milk, I might buy it, but like maybe a farmer's market or something. But, you know, I looked online and, you know, I looked up like humane cheese and that sort of thing. And it's frustrating because some blogs say, well, you know, there's these different certifications that make it humane and ethical. But the reality is, you know, if you're buying it, it's usually for profit. And so the way the animals are treated is just, you know, it's definitely not like in a natural way. And so that's one of the biggest reasons why some people do go vegan. And as I said before, I have no judgment on anybody else for their decisions or their choices. I believe we're all here in this incarnation to learn whatever it is we're here to learn or do or carry out, whatever it is we're here to carry out, you know, as a reflection of the whole or source or whatever. So I just know what I feel compelled to do, and it's not always easy. While it's an easy decision for me on the one hand, it's not always easy to carry out, and I'm sure a lot of you in a similar situation can understand. But now, what this does is it causes me to rethink my channel. I mean, it's like, yeah, I love vegan food and I love showing people how to prepare vegan food because I know, especially for newcomers, or people that are just curious. Maybe you don't want to be vegan, but maybe you want to eat plant-based once a week, twice a week, maybe all week, and then, you know, eat other stuff on the weekends, whatever it is. I like being able to show people, hey, you know, you can make this taste so good, you know, taste close to what the familiarity that you crave from what the foods are used to eating, you know. And I like helping people in that way. But now I feel like, what if I'm not helping people? What if I'm, you know, showing them all this stuff with food that may hurt them in the long run? I don't know. And it's caused an existential crisis. Well, in the way of like, okay, I'm like, why does it have to be that way? Is carnivore the answer? Like, why did the creator put us in this place and design it that way where it's like we have to rely on the essence of something else to get our sustenance? Because plants have feelings, maybe not feelings, but plants are somewhat sentient, you could argue. I mean, they have survival mechanisms. In fact, that's the whole thing about the oxalates. It's a survival mechanism. It's these crystals are what they have and they form to defend themselves from predators, from animals, from insects, you know, from other things. And so everything has this innate, you know, drive to survive and, you know, self-preservation. And so it just makes me wonder, why does it have to be that way, you know? And it's It's frustrating. Maybe some of you will say that I think too much. That's just in my nature. You know, my birthday, the actual date of your birth has a specific, like a specific meaning or theme, and mine is the day of the soul searcher. And I've always been that way. I've known this since I was a little girl, that I'm just weighed down by searching for, you know, reasons and purpose, or like the way to live, you know. And I know the golden rule is a good start, but that's kind of very general. But you know, anyways, I'm going way off track here again, which I tend to do. So I speak way better when I'm not on camera, but I do get nervous. And so if you could bear with me, maybe that's what this whole thing is meant to be for me, as a learning experience, to learn how to express my ideas and thoughts to people, because apparently that's something I have some issues with. So getting back to my channel, the direction of my channel now I don't know what direction to take my channel in. I mean, I want to continue making, you know, preparing vegan foods and recipes. Although the recent video I did, which was a collaboration with Organics Nature products, has made me realize and recall how much I love fitness. Like, fitness has been a huge part of my life for many years. In fact, I think at one point it kind of saved me from a very very desolate, dark time in my life. And maybe I'll have to do a video on that sometime. But I know I'm happier when I'm able to go to the gym and work out. And it's just, I have kind of an athletic body, and I enjoy, you know, working on it, and it makes me feel good. And because I have allergies, it's always been hard for me to do outdoor sports and stuff. And I'm not very coordinated when it comes to outdoor sports anyways. So it's just a way that I can, you know, do physical things and feel good about it. But anyways, so I don't know if I'm going to go in the direction of fitness. I'm not sure what to do. So I don't know what my next video is going to look like. Maybe this is also a way for me to convey to you guys that, you know, I'm not sure where I'm going to go from here, what I'm going to do. I would love to get feedback. I don't get as much engagement on my content as I would like. And I feel like, I don't know, like, part of the reason I started this thing was because I'm looking for community. You know, I've always felt like a little bit of a misfit. And so I'm kind of trying to find my tribe, you know. And so if you guys have something to say, you know, please say it. Please comment. I'd like to know what's on your mind, really, you know. Anyways, so right now I'm low oxalate, and I'm kind of dabbling and starting with keto vegan, because keto is something I did before I went vegan. I was really big into actually the ketogenic cyclic diet. I mean, I have a whole book on it too, but actually it's right here. This book by this guy, Dan Duchesne. He's passed away now, but this book is like $100 and some now. It's a really old school book. And it talks about, so keto basically enables you to lose weight, lose the fat, and gain muscle at the same time, which usually you have to go through two phases. You have to go through a bulking phase and a cutting phase. And I guess, like I said, the reason I'm attracted to like bodybuilding, and I mean, I don't want to be like Miss Olympia. That's not my goal. But it does give you a sense of strength and a sense of well-being for me anyways. And I really have to tell you the story, like I said, about how and why I got into this, you know, but it's sort of like a hobby for me. It happens to be very healthy. Well, if you do it right and carefully. So I'm dabbling in keto vegan right now, and it's tricky, but it's interesting. And I guess, I don't know, I guess we're just going to have to go from here and see what happens. And I know there's probably a million other things I wanted to say, but I don't want to get too off track. So I'll try and save those for another time. And maybe when my thoughts are more organized. But thank you for watching. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful and safe holiday weekend, as it happens to be July 4th today. And I will see you all next time.